Hello, welcome to the first real week of Season 1 for the Level and Space Marines. We'll be covering Match 1 between the Denver Wraiths and the Fort Collins Calrissians. Let's go. So this game's going to start with the subs for Fort Collins Calrissian. A Kodama coming in from the Chula Vista site. He came in for the week and we got to play with him a little bit. He was subbing in for the Calrissians as their commander. And Mason, MAS 5534, subbing in as well as a scout. Game's going underway with Loki as the commander, as he's been playing a lot this season, playing a lot on third, kind of by himself. Red team coming up red ramp, trying to fight them off, while getting a little bit pinched with Caleb coming, Slaughtermelon coming up.
Looks like Slaughtermelon's going to shove Troy off of that third floor. Loki's going to get a missile, actually, in the back.
Slaughtermelon's on the heavy again, as he's been doing when he's banned off commander. He's been getting a lot of work done as the heavy this season.
I think banning Slaughtermelon on a single 3-shot is kind of
The Wraiths running with their general lineup with Siberian Death on heavy, Loki commander, Mischief ammo, and Raiden GL as the medic. However, on the Calrissians, they're having friendly fire as their ammo instead of a scout, which is... He usually plays scout or commander in a lot of these games.
Looking like a whole lot's going on. Just a couple of greens getting popped here and there. Looks like red's getting set up on the third floor. They're all starting to get a little bit of resupplies here.
Yeah, green team, as the Wraiths like to play, they've seemingly been playing a lot from first floor, and they're just starting that up again.
It does look like Siberian Death is up on the third floor now.
Yeah, with occasional 3-shot pressure coming up, trying to keep enough pressure up there that their resupplies down on first don't get punished a lot. With this heavy pressure, though, it's seeming to work a little bit.
Like,
he's losing the trade with Caleb, though, and he's getting popped down by Mason as he's coming across.
Slaughtermelon is winning those trades against Siberian Death over there in the fun box. It looks like he's actually going to push him back down the ramp now with a missile.
Getting another missile off. That's 2. No, he's already dropped 4 missiles into people this game.
Wow.
That explains why he's over double Kodama as commander.
I'm not sure what Kodama's doing.
He's pestering down on first. He's 3/4 of the way to his first nuke, but Troy, with his bases already, he's already got his first nuke ready to go. And with considering everyone on his team's pretty fully resupplied, I would not be surprised to see that nuke drop from Loki pretty quickly.
He might, but I don't think they're going to get very far considering Slaughtermelon just is having immaculate defense up there on the fun box. But we do have Loki coming in. Up on the blue side, he's getting a couple shots off.
Kodama's getting some work into the resupplies, as you can tell by the scoreboard, that Raiden's already at 12 lives compared to Feeder's 19. The pressure that the Wraiths are putting in isn't getting a lot of ground, and they're not being able to get in on the resupplies very often. However, Bromley winning a trade, and they're starting with Bromley in Funbox and Loki coming up from the chamber. Their red team starting to get fish in a barrel, as Caleb is pretty much the only one able to down these 3 shots effectively.
Looks like Mason is going to make a run for the bottom floor.
However, they're going to have Kodama, the red team commander, coming back pretty soon as he's low on shots, and he's already a nuke and a half. He's already got a nuke and a half stored up without his bases. Well, it doesn't seem like he's doing a lot of work from what we're seeing here, but he's getting work done on the first floor.
Uh-oh. That's an interesting strategy we saw a little bit at Nationals, where if a heavy and a heavy make a mutual trade, the heavy that's trying to attack will just try and run past the defending heavy, so he's not technically on his trail. It's a little cheeky. And see,
there's the first nuke from Loki. Bromley, Siberian Death running in, but red team with Kodama coming up red ramp behind him, setting up. Siberian Death was quickly forced off.
Yeah, Kodama is back now, which is not good news for green team.
Kodama's already got 2 nukes stored up, so while Loki was able to drop that one fairly early in the game,
didn't really gain him any ground.
The nukes are going to start rolling out of Kodama pretty soon.
Yeah, unfortunately, that nuke from the green team just It was a good opportunity, but it just wasn't played very well.
Well, Siberian Death was just not expecting Kodama to come up behind him like that. As it is, the Siberian Death is currently only at 4 lives, and Raiden's at 8. So a double nuke would put the medic down to 2, and Siberian just got his resupply, so he will now live. But on red team, Mason, MAS 5534 is the only one playing a little low. He's at 8 lives currently. However, the Calrissians are up 3,000 points, even though the Wraiths have got 4 more bases than them, which is a massive score difference considering the base discrepancy.
Yeah, that's about 3,000 points in actual shot damage.
Siberian Death trying to get the missile off on Kodama, and it's not working for him. Kodama is known throughout the international scene for being very tough to missile. Raiden is at 5 lives, meaning if Kodama decides to drop his double nuke, that is the green team medic out of the game. While the red team's still fairly set up and keeping their resupplies up. Everyone on their team has double-digit lives and shots, except for Kodama, who's got 2 shots.
There's not very much. Whoa. Am I gonna hold my tongue?
Both 3 shots are getting into the chamber. Both green 3 shots getting into the chamber, but Mason popping out and doing a lot of work, getting Troy down.
I believe he put one into Siberian Death as well.
Yes, it looks like it. Loki's got his nuke. Oh, Kodama nuke once, nuke twice. And is he going to drop a 3rd? Yes, that is a triple nuke 7 minutes into the game.
And that's going to eliminate 4 of their 6 players.
Leaving Loki and Zenless, a scout, both at 3 lives, trying to survive. They're most likely not going to be able to survive for 3 minutes. But Kodama's out of shots, and Troy just dropped his nuke. So red team's going to have to regroup while green team tries to get some ground and able to escape.
Loki's only at 3 lives and 5 shots. He has 2 missiles, but he's going to have to hide if he wants to try and survive the elim. Looks like he's just going to fight it out.
Yeah, go down swinging, I suppose.
That was a cheeky blind fire there, Eric.
Sorry. No, that was across the chamber. That's a legal shot.
It looked like you were shooting on the ramp.
That was just where the camera was. It's all good. Troy is now out of shots, and Seth Zenless is at 1 life.
They're both at 1 life. I think this is GG.
And with the elim bonus, getting all the bases as well as the 10,000 points, that'll be a massive lead. Yep, there's the elimination bonus. 14,000 points up, plus the bases, meaning they are up by 24,000 points heading into the second game of the match.
Taking a look at our lineup here, and looks like the Fort Collins Calrissians is going to run exactly what they did last game because it seemed to work. However, the Denver Wraiths are going to switch up a little bit, try and combat that a little bit. Loki and Siberian Death swapping out there. We're going to have Siberian Death a little bit more of aggressive commanders. Loki's going to be more of a roaming scout. It looks like, Siberian Death's already got a missile. 2 missiles off in 15 seconds.
1 in the ammo and 1 in a scout. Wow. That's a lot of special points and a pretty dominating way to show off your first season.
Already over 2,000 points now with his base in under 30 seconds.
Pretty dominating way to show off your first season game on Commander.
Yeah, that's quite the immediate comeback.
Zenless and Slaughtermelon fighting off on red ramp. Slaughtermelon got a missile in, but then was shot down by Mischief, it looks like.
Yeah, they switched out Zenless on their heavy instead of Siberian Death. Zenless tends to be a little bit more of a defensive heavy, so we'll see. Maybe they were thinking to combat Kodama a little bit. Looks like he's going to lose the trade with Slaughtermelon. Slaughtermelon's coming back up into the fun box. He's
keeping a mind on his
2
trail.
Different players.
Raiden on first. Not looking like there's a lot of pressure down on first so far, but both the resupplies for both teams having to do a little bit of fighting.
Looks like Feeder there put 3 shots into Siberian Death before he could do anything about it. However, the red team does have the 3rd floor currently.
Yeah, red team's solidifying up chamber just like the Calrissians did last game, while the green team's kind of set to roam a little bit more.
Yeah, looks like Slaughtermelon's up there on the 3rd floor. He's roaming around a little bit, putting some pressure in, but he only has 7 lives and under 10 shots. So he probably needs to retreat here pretty soon. Now he's at 6 lives.
While the heavy can be an amazing powerhouse at the start of a game, you have to be very careful with your lives and shots because of how low you start on lives.
Extremely slow to resupply, so you always want to be careful overextending way too early in the game.
Siberian Death, however, already got his first nuke. He's doubled Kodama on special points, but he does already have a base.
They're setting up there at the bottom of the blue ramp.
Zenless is getting having a little bit of trouble finding a good spot to start from. He's got 4 lives, and he hasn't been able to do a lot of work so far.
So Slaughtermelon is at 3 lives right now. He's begging his resupplies to pop up and shoot him. There we go.
So it looks like the Calrissian resupplies are playing from big box on second floor on red side, resupplying their 3 shots on the ramp and trying to keep the enemy team out of that box.
Let's see if that works out for him. 3 minutes in, it looks like the red team has a pretty substantial lead.
But they have 5 bases up on the green team. It would be about a 2,000 point lead without those bases.
1,500 points without bases, but still, considering that Siberian Death here is almost half a nuke up on Kodama, but he is catching up. Don't want to give him too much slack, otherwise Kodama will roll you.
Yeah, on medic lives, it's pretty close. Both are actually at 13 lives, meaning before nuke drops, it's pretty close.
The game could go either way at this point.
Mason playing at just 5 lives currently. He's not currently shooting anyone or trying to find anything, but
just got shot himself though.
Yeah.
He's only at 2 special points. I'm not sure if he has a rapid fire active or not. More than likely, yes he does.
Yes, he does. Kodama has quickly taken the lead, however, on special points. He is now, both commanders are a nuke and a half. Kodama is in the lead, however. Game coming down a lot to the Mason and Alicia on Rose Jasper, the 2 scouts on green team having a lot of shots and a decent amount of lives. They could go do apply a lot of pressure with that. Loki in the same boat, but he's applying a lot of his pressure and top scoring on his team currently in points.
He's not able to get a foot in on the green setup there on the 3rd floor, however. He just has too much firepower coming down on him from that from the high ground.
Calrissians setting up in the same way they set up the last game with Morgan friendly fire, the ammo chilling in that little cubby so he can look down the ramp and keep a kind of like sonar view on the area.
It's like Kodama's coming back up to get some resupplies.
Makes sense. He's at 7 shots, even after a resupply.
He's going to get some doubles, going to get loaded back up here. He's almost at, that's 2.5 nukes.
Almost 2.5 nukes. Siberian Death is just 4 special points away from his 2nd nuke. So it's pretty close on nukes.
Kodama, considering how much of a lead Siberian Death had there at the beginning, Kodama is on fire. Raiden
is at 4 lives, however, and that's before a nuke's even been dropped.
So now at 3. A single
3
nuke
lives.
will kill Raiden GL.
He's getting pressured, it looks like, from a lot. With Mischief actually going on the aggressive, leaving his medic to try to hope you stay alive, but not counting on it.
2 lives now. He really needs to get that other base. Otherwise, 1,000 points really does make a huge difference.
And Raiden, if a scout gets in on him, he can't even fight. As long as a medic has 1 shot, he can still resupply. But now that the medic has no shots, he can't
lost his
resupply.
Shot, and he's been nuked out of the game with.
No, not a nuke.
It wasn't a nuke?
No, that was just him getting a quick double tap off. The red team medic is out of the game, and Kodama still has 2.5 nukes ready to drop.
It's like the ammo and the heavy are both at 4 lives. A nuke chain will kill them. A single nuke will now kill their heavy.
Yeah, Zenless has been having a lot of trouble this game, only getting 1 missile off and barely able to get any shots in. I mean, he
does have 24. He could make a substantial
he
push
could do
here.
a lot of work if he can just make sure to keep Caleb and Slaughtermelon and Kodama down. But it's
not looking good.
It's a hard balance to strike.
Almost at 3 nukes here. Kodama, if he rolls a single chain, he's going to elim another half of their team.
Mischief is third on his team in points. Granted, he does have the 2 bases, but he just did a double ammo resupply, which is a lot of special points to have to do. Siberian Death's double nukes rolling out during there, nuking Mason out of the game, putting Feeder at 5 lives, but Kodama's sitting on his 3 nukes.
Kodama has 3 nukes now. If he rolls them, it's going to be game over for the red team.
They would have Commander and a Scout alive, with both actually having a lot of shots. But Mischief was just eliminated out of the game, meaning the red team has limited lives and limited shots.
They also have a 24,000 gap to overcome. They're currently up by about 5,000 points. However, considering that they all have one
Kodama's
or more bases,
first nuke detonated.
Second
nuke is going off. Second nuke detonated. Third nuke launched. Third nuke detonated. That puts the Loki as the Scout at 7 lives and Siberian Death the Commander at just 10. They do have enough shots to get a lot of work done, but their game plan would have to rely around killing Friendly Fire and Feeder off almost instantly, so they can keep their lead on resupplies.
When you're that far outnumbered, it just very rarely are you able to get any pressure in on the enemy team.
But with just 2 minutes left, with 9 lives, especially split 15 between the 2 of them, they could definitely find a spot they could hide and probably survive the game. But Loki and Siberian Death not opting for that strategy, going out with a fight on 3rd floor.
Green team is also starting to get their bases, closing that gap a little bit, which means that the red team at this point has no possible way of winning the match.
With the amount of shots they have left, they can't physically score enough points. They did do good with bases on their team, with missing only 2 bases, which is, especially a losing game, that's pretty impressive to do. Making sure that gap was as little as possible. Sadly, they did not win the first game, so having a small gap doesn't really help them all that much.
Yeah. Siberian Death, however, keeping up pace with Kodama, and debatably one of the best commanders in our nation, on his first game of the season, is something to definitely be proud of.
Siberian Death, if he can find a good spot, drops a nuke, and there it goes off, eliminating Feeder, the medic, out of the game. So the red team and green team both have limited lives now. But with 50 seconds left and red team with a combined 7 lives, can they survive? Siberian eating a missile there is not good to try and help him survive. With
40 seconds now, 4 lives.
Siberian Death eliminated out of the game, and Loki is out of shots, has 3 lives, and is hiding in big box, hoping that he can survive the time. One shot, using Friendly Fire, using his team as a reset, as per his name, is friendly firing Loki out of the game, eliminating the enemy team with just 15 seconds left. Meaning, since there was less than a minute left in the game when they elimed, the enemy team is not getting their bases for free, so Rose Jasper is still missing those 2 bases when the game ends. So, on pure scoreboard, it looks like the red team won. However, with a 10,000 elimination bonus, green team did win this game and overall come out with the match by approximately 34,000 points.
Yikes. Alrighty, so with that being wrapped up, it looks like the Fort Collins Calrissians took the match by quite a bit, almost 35,000 points, which is a huge, huge gap to cross, especially in this game. It appears that the Fort Collins Calrissians are now 4-0 with their matches, and the other 2 teams at no games won, totally sweeping this season so far.
Insofar, we record 1 game a week, and the other game is off camera. So in the off camera game, they also won, despite having to play against Kodama that time. Still, however, maintaining their 2 matches to nothing. So they are currently in the top seat, with the other teams in a tie for 2nd and 3rd.